Welcome to the Eyes Wide Open series, and we are at part one. What are we doing here on Earth? My name is Kelly Schwegel, and I am going to be hosting with you all about the understanding of why we are here in these bodies on this Earth. I actually have my experience in education, so I have a few degrees in education and was doing a lot of work there when I got the calling to start a holistic healing center in Ojai, California, which I did. I am a Reiki master teacher as well. I also do holistic healing practitioner work where I specialize in emotional clearing and healing, medical intuiting, and intuitive life reading and coaching. So all of this experience and listening to many, many guides and listening to many clients, I ended up with the experience of understanding a lot about our bodies, a lot about what we're doing here, and I'm here to share this with you through our video series, Eyes Wide Open. So let's get started. Let's talk about what we're doing here. And for you to understand this truly, it's important that you understand that everything in your life is energy, everything. And when I say energy, what I mean is it breaks down into little teeny tiny particles of light like you're seeing on the screen here. The chair you're sitting in is energy. The air is energy. Our bodies are all energy. We all break down into these little points of light. For me to explain what we're doing here on Earth, I need to start with explaining something called the macrocosm versus microcosm theory. And what that is that the understanding that absolutely everything in life is based on a series of mathematical equations or a series of mathematical laws. So everything is mathematics, everything is geometry, and there is not one set of laws for Earth and another set for Mars and another set for the universe. There's another set for heaven. There just isn't. It's all the same. We all operate under the same principles of mathematics. So on the screen here, I'm showing you a slide that I did not create, but I'm using to demonstrate to you the understanding of macrocosm versus microcosm. The very top pictures, what you're looking at is the universe over on the right, and on the other side, you're looking at a brain cell. So you can see how they're absolutely similar in the way that they are constructed because the mathematics that created them are the same. In the center, you're looking at the birth of a cell and the death of a star. Very similar. Look at the bottom one. You're looking at the iris of your eye and the nebula in space. There is no difference. And so if you start to think about everything that governs our existence, it's all under the same mathematical principles, whether it's inside of your body at the very smallest component of you or whether it's as large as the multiverse. So to demonstrate a little further, I'm going to use something called the Fibonacci spiral. If you're not familiar with this spiral, the spiral is a set of ratios. So if we look at the lower quadrants on the left, you're looking at 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 8 is 13. And it's a set of ratios that actually governs so much about us. And I'm going to show you, first of all, where it is in nature. If you look at the Fibonacci spiral, take a look at the rows in the upper left-hand quadrant of this picture. Down below there in nature, you're seeing this in a hurricane. You can see it in a sunflower. You can see it in a pine cone. You can see it in the spiral inside of a shell. But it's everywhere in nature, this principle, this mathematical principle. We also see it in the human body. We can see it in the eye. We can see it in the ear. The bottom right-hand photo is that of your finger curled. And so it's this part of your finger curled. On the lower left, you're going to see the human face is actually the Fibonacci spiral. And even if you take your wet hair and you whip it up, it's going to use the same mathematical principles as the Fibonacci spiral. And now here you go. This is in the universe. The universe has the exact same mathematical principles. Now, why is it important to tell you about this? Why is it important that this helps us to understand life? Well, because we're going to use this understanding of macrocosm versus microcosm to help you understand your soul. Now, the way that we do that is we explain that the human body, okay, our physical human body, we know that it ages, and it ages through time. We know that our human body goes from baby to infant to young to mature to old. Well, here's the macrocosm versus microcosm understanding. It's not any different when you're looking at your soul. Your soul actually ages from baby to infant to young to mature to old. But instead of aging through time, our soul ages through wisdom. And it ages through multiple lifetimes. So this earth that you're in is actually a big classroom for your soul. It's a big classroom where you incarnate into a body to learn lessons, to experience life, and age your soul. So for your soul to go from baby to infant to young to mature to old, you would have to go through multiple lifetimes. When you are here on Earth, your hard experiences here on Earth are your textbooks. The reason that the hard experiences are your textbooks is this. Well, if everything is going well, there is absolutely no motivation to learn, to grow, or to change. So you didn't come to this life or this earth to be in peace. If you were going to be in peace, you would have stayed where you were. Okay, your soul was pretty happy in heaven, if that's what you want to call it. Very happy existing in source energy, or God energy, or love energy, or whatever you want to call that before reincarnate into a body. No, you didn't come here to be in peace. You came here to learn and to grow. And it may seem cruel, but abuse, heartache, getting fired, betrayal, having issues with the body image or weight, or even cruelty, those are all experiences that are growing your soul. Now, you will, to get to the old soul category, you will have had to experience all of the yin and the yang of everything in life, okay? So you're going to experience all the good, all the bad, all the ugly, all the beautiful. So in one lifetime, you would have been gay. You would have been straight in another. You would have been rich in one, poor in another. You would have been wealthy in one. You would have been successful in one. You would have been in complete poverty. You would have been in an experience where you would have really experienced everything that there is to experience. So you would also have murdered in one life and been murdered in another. You have to go through all of life's experiences. Now, one of the things I explain to people is that that I am quite clairvoyant, and I have no apologies for that. I don't care to apologize. I also will tell you that that what I have heard multiple times is that, Kelly, you need to understand, and this is my guides talking to me, they will say, Kelly, you need to understand, if you are going to work with clients, you have to understand that the things that society thinks are bad, that people do like affairs or abortions or different things like that, they said, that's all part of what we sign up for. We sign up to experience all of life, and you can't just experience all the good. You all actually have to go through the bad, or your soul is not going to grow. And so I was kind of contemplating this for a while, and then I was, kind of believing it but not believing it. I was like, I don't know. Me having murdered in a lifetime, I don't know about that. I'm a pretty decent person. Well, I was doing something really mundane one day. I was either walking or driving. I don't remember what it was. And I started seeing premonitions and visions when I was about 19 and 20. And so it was not uncommon for me to have them. As I'm walking, doing this mundane thing, not thinking about much at all of a sudden my guides brought in me in another lifetime. I was male. I was feeling all of the feelings, all of the adrenaline, all of the motivation, all of the mental functioning of what it felt like right before I murdered. And I felt it. I felt every emotion. I felt everything that was there. And I remember just stopping in my tracks and going, what was that? Why did I have to experience that? Why did you show me that? And my guide said to me, okay, we need you to understand. Again, if you are going to understand your clients, you need to understand that there is no way that you would understand that intimacy of feeling, that adrenaline, that motivation, unless you had actually done it. And I got it at that point. I understood that I had to experience that because I couldn't learn that out of a textbook. I couldn't learn that from somebody telling me about it. Okay, there's no way I couldn't watch a video and understand that. I had to actually have experienced it. Now, I'm going to make sure that you understand I have not murdered in this lifetime. I am female in this lifetime, clearly, and that was an experience that was brought to me from another life, and I don't know which one. I just know that they brought it to me. Yes, people do some pretty hard things in this life. Yes, children experience abuse, hardship, starvation, suffering, but I also know that that's exactly what we signed up for, because you knew what you were getting into before you came here to this earth. You knew these are the lessons that I need to learn. And for me to learn these lessons, I'm going to need these experiences in life. I'm going to need these characteristics. I'm going to need these parents. So yeah, you select your parents, you choose your circumstances, you identify these are going to be my big life lessons, and they're going to keep coming at me and coming at me and coming at me until I learn them. But the interesting piece about this is you still have choice. You know what you're going to learn. You set up your learnings. You set up all of this to be in your experience, but you have choice. You have choice to learn them or not learn them. So when hard experiences, your life lessons come, and they're going to come and they're going to be delivered by some very painful people or some very painful experiences, and you have the choice to become bitter, angry, depressed, shut down, or you have the ability to move through these lessons, understand the human condition, and move into something absolutely beautiful within you. You can learn how to forgive yourself. You can learn how to love yourself. You can understand that you brought in the perfect human conditioning for what you are to learn here on earth. And I'll give you a little example. When I was being raised and when I was growing up, I brought in some pretty hard experiences. And at about the age of 40, I think it was, I all of a sudden started to go through this very, very big transition. And it was a transition where on the outside, I was very, very positive. I was very confident. I had a great career. I was actually training at, at the state level in Wisconsin, and I was at a great space and very successful. But inside, I wasn't happy. I was making great money, but I couldn't manage any of it. I had really hard relationships. I had an abusive boyfriend. These kind of things were very hard on me. And at one point, I just broke down. And I called up a teacher of mine who I said, I need some help. I can't be like this anymore. I can't have another bad boyfriend. I can't be sick all the time. And I was sick all the time. And I had 5 different pre-existing conditions: asthma and chronic sinusitis and Kienbach's disease and hip defects, and good Lord, the list goes on. And when I looked at all of those, my teacher said to me, she said, "Kelly, what is going on inside of you?" And when I really looked deep inside of me, I found 4 statements about myself that I knew to be true, but I had to look deep to find them. Because once again, on the outside, I was positive. On the inside, I thought I was a bad person. I thought I was a worthless person. I thought I was sick, and I thought I was broken. And my guides explained to me, yep, you developed that all perfectly inside of you, because your goal here on earth is to understand how to move through all that. Move into self-love, move into forgiveness, move into understanding yourself, understanding why you made the choices that you did, learning to forgive all of those different ages of you, love them, support them, and so that you can become this absolutely beautiful person. And that's who I am today. I learned that my life lessons were here to teach me. They were hard, but they were. I'm going to explain, what is it that we're here to learn? What is it that these life lessons are teaching us? Well, our life lessons are all about us learning about us learning about the human condition. We are in what's considered an experience of preoccupation with the self. This earth teaches us about materialism, wealth, status, power, fear, arrogance, jealousy, a strive for importance, all right? And what happens is that we experience human emotions and the human condition. So we experience shame and guilt and depression and sadness and fear and insecurities, self-doubt, powerlessness, anger, pride. And we do this all so that we can learn and grow. Now, I want to explain this visual. This is something that my guides brought in when I was working with a client. And they explained that you want to consider your life like it's a set of stairs, and that the steps are your easy times and the climbs are your hard times. And in your experience, you are formulating your stairs for a very long time. You are setting up your human condition within yourself. My human condition was insecurity. It was self-doubt. It was shame. It was guilt. It was feeling that I wasn't good enough. Those were all of my stairs, and I built them perfectly with my upbringing, through my mom, my dad, my sisters, my friends, my experiences, my boyfriends, my ex-husband. And they said what happens is that you build your stairs until the time comes for you to transition. So for me, that was about the age of 40. And you do not have to wait that long, though, by the way. You can transition anytime you are really ready inside. And so what happens is that when you come to this time of transitioning, you really kind of come to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be this person anymore. I can't be insecure. I can't do it. And at that time, the right teacher will enter your life. And during that experience, you're going to learn to love yourself. You're going to learn to let go. You're going to forgive yourself and others. And my guides explained it's kind of like your final exam. So you're setting up all of your textbooks in your learning. And then you go through an experience of learning to let go. And you move into then your giving. After you learn to love yourself, then you can give. You can give back to the world. You can give back to humanity. You can give to yourself. And it's a really beautiful experience. So this whole Eyes Wide Open series is about teaching you all the components that you need to move into happiness. This particular one, part one, is explaining to you that this life is a classroom that you set up specifically for you. It's about asking yourself, what kind of stairs did I build? What did I build in this lifetime? What is inside of me? What human conditioning did I build so that I can learn my particular lessons? Once you understand what you built, what your stairs are, you can then understand why you came. They are your textbooks, and the people involved, whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they're a pain in your patoot or not, are all of your teachers. So here, to sum this up, your lessons are your karma. Karma is all the lessons that keep coming around and around and around again into your life until you learn them. So if you want to learn what your karma is, what you came here to learn, start to look at your life. Start to look at the patterns. Do you keep bringing in the same relationship over and over again? Do you keep bringing in the same type of people over and over again? Do you keep having the same work experiences over and over again? What is reoccurring in your life? Well, that's your karma. That's what you're here to learn. And you're going to keep bringing that in until you learn it. So I hope this has helped you to understand a little bit about what it is that we're doing here on Earth, what we are experiencing, why we incarnated into this body, and look for part two, which is going to explain what your body breaks down into, which will help you understand even further this life. Have a great afternoon.